So I had some ideas I wanted to share that I didn't feel like an email would would be sufficient. So I was just going to do a quick what we call a screencast. Um, so in discussing things about the strategic plan and the ideas and stuff, I just have a vision that's a little new, I guess, or a different angle. So let me talk about it really quick. My vision is more in the membership from the ground up, and I'm introducing memberships at levels we've never considered and things that I think from my side of the view, which is from the education, teaching classroom side, could have some important impact into the way that we move forward. Um, First, I want to introduce the concept of student membership, which we've never done before. And if you'll stay with me, this all fits together. So try to hang with me as we go through these different stages. Um, if we could get student members, that would start off with instructors that recruit. A lot of kids are going to join just simply to put us on a resume. That's a big thing in all the high schools. Build your resume, build your college application, etc. What we're going to keep them, the way we're going to keep them engaged and keep them involved is going to be with access to social media, and the newsletter that we'll send out directly to students to try to keep their attention. And everything about this newsletter will be geared toward youth, short attention spans, but things that we can put in there that we don't, that y'all may not be aware of. For example, the CDC, Center for Disease Control here in Atlanta, has a summer camp that's free to students who apply. It's a competitive thing. And I found out about it through a friend about 10 years ago. Every year now, I've had two, three, or four of my students go every summer, and it was just something we didn't even know about. So letting kids know about these opportunities, they'll be excited to participate in things. So things like that, making them aware of scholarships that are out there. Seniors will be really into that. Put out funny videos, things just, keep them engaged and not oversaturate, but keep things from being stale. Another key component of this would be an honor society, and stick with me here because you're probably not really familiar with this, but if you look to the left, there's the National Society of High School Scholars. It's really a B team honors program that started in like 2004. The guy behind it's Klaus Nobel. Yeah, his grandfather was Nobel, the Nobel. But not that I want to emulate them, but the point is that they have 500,000 members. It costs like $37 to join. Kids are all over this thing. It's so funny because I see bumper stickers all over the place. My kid's a scholar, which just really means they're a B student. But people will pay for these things. Our flip side of this, though, would be legitimately to identify kids in our programs that excel for kids in our program, because our, across career tech and across within our law and justice programs, public safety programs, we could build in a criteria. And if we charge 20 bucks, most of these things are 30, 40 bucks. They get a cord for graduation. It could actually be a moneymaker. Now, let me interject for just a minute. I know in the past we talked about monetizing the partnership, and I agree that our primary objective should be quality education programs. But the reality is, if we do not have the money, we aren't going to survive long. And so when I mention monetization, that's not my objective, but it is something that I want to interject to show areas that we can make some money on some things. In Georgia, there's 10 to 15,000 students that are in our programs. Let's say 500 qualify for honor society, and they join, and we make 10 bucks a kid. That's $5,000, and that's not something to kind of look at. And that's a crazy opportunity, and we're providing legitimate recognition for kids within our program, and we're giving our kids those opportunities. And so that's a thing that's going to build membership as well. So we want to do everything we can to build the membership of the student. And the only point that the student would pay anything would be if they join the Honor Society. Future plans for students, and stick with me here. This is a side I know a lot about. We do summer camps every summer, and they are cash cows. If you look up the National Student Leadership Conference, they do 5-day summer programs for $2,500. That does not include airfare. They do have a good program. They do have a good reputation, but they've done a really good job that we could easily emulate of making it a selections-based process, making it really exciting, using our contacts. I've taken a number of kids to Washington, D.C. over the years. I have contacts, the DEA, FBI, we could tour Quantico. We could easily emulate one of these NSLC programs, and could do it cheaper, and we could even do multiple locations. I was at Stanford University this summer, and they must have had 25 different things going on, and one of them was it was called the Stanford Forensics Camp, which was for debate kids. but it wasn't Stanford University doing it. It was an organization doing it, a nonprofit like us, and they were making a killing on these camps. Camps are seriously loaded with money, but also on top of that, we're giving kids fantastic opportunities to spend their summers, to go to programs. We could provide scholarship opportunities, but we could have these things regionally located. We could have a big one in DC. We could do one for public safety, firefighting, I mean, you name it. Every single one of our breakout areas could do one of these things. And just if you hold with it, so let's just say one summer we do 1 week, we get 40 kids to go, easily could make $500 to $1,000 per kid, and that's very conservative, and that's including all the costs. And I've done camps, and I know what I'm talking about. This is something that the national partnership could be making $20,000 to $50,000 off of for a camp, a single camp. If we did this really high quality, did it all over the country, begin to build it over time, 5 to 10 years down the road, this could be one of our biggest revenue generators. It could be a way that we pay for our curriculum development and our textbook is select, all that stuff. Marketing, if we get, let's say, again, Georgia, I've got 10, 15,000 kids in Georgia. Let's say we get 3,000 to subscribe to our newsletter, 3,000 to follow our Twitter. What are we going to be able, we're going to be able to sell that to, for marketing angles. We don't overkill it, obviously, but think of all the colleges that will pay money to get access to these kids, military, National Guard, easy way to pick up money there. But think about like a magazine like Police Magazine or Law Enforcement, Weapons for Law Enforcement. Those magazines thrive on subscriptions, obviously. We could work out a deal with them where they pay for us to distribute an offer for our kids to be able to join, get a subscription for a year for free. Now, the magazines love this stuff because if you can get a kid at 16 to subscribe to Weapons for Law Enforcement or Police Magazine or, Firefighter, they're going to become lifetime subscribers, which is going to generate a lot of income for that subscription service down the road. They're going to be that's something we could work out. Vendors, look at like Lynn Peavy or Searcy. They may want to give the kids a introductory CSI kit for $30, that gives those kids those opportunities to start to, but again, to build out that customer base for these organizations that we value that support our programs. And then on the flip side, we're pulling money in from that. This is where Facebook's making all its money. This is where Google's making all its money, is the targeted marketing that you do through your subscriber bases. Again, I know we don't want to think much about monetizing, but this has also given our kids opportunities. When I was 16, I would have loved to have had a year of free subscription to Police Magazine because I would have actually read something. I was 16, I didn't read anything unless it had inappropriate content, or Mad Magazine. So these are things that are really good for our kids, but it's a way for our organization to monetize while providing that quality service. The last item, scholarships. At my last school, we did scholarships. First started off, Colonel Cook, who was a buddy of mine. He died in line of duty. We started a scholarship. I went to his wife and I said, I want to start a scholarship in Cornell's memory. She was real enthusiastic. They were big supporters of the NAACP. And so we decided to do a minority-based scholarship. And every year we'd send an email out to all the people that wanted to stay on the email list every year. It was once a year. And we got between $500 and $1,000. And every year that was the dollar amount of the scholarship. And every year that was the amount given to the kid. We had an application, the family had a selection group put together and they chose the kid every year, and it brought value. We'll not make any money off scholarships. That would be something that we would do over time and build these, but I could see 10 years down the road having 50 to 100 scholarships, memorizing, a guy, police chief that had been on the force for 20 years retires. That's something they can do as when he leaves, to start a memorial scholarship or a living scholarship. The big value for us is its marketability to get the kids to join the program, and it brings legitimacy to us as an organization that we're facilitating these tens of thousands of dollars of scholarships and almost no expense to ourselves, and at almost no, they're doing everything. The group that decides to organize the scholarship does everything. So I can talk more about that at another time, but the goal there is to get our kids involved. Now, instructor members, that's going to be most of your teachers. Okay, so the kids, we can put on paper, it's $10 to join. We could put $25 to join for an instructor. But if a school joins, then they would all be free. So really, we're not ever going to charge a kid or a teacher to join. It's going to be in their school membership. They have access to all the membership materials, which we'll talk about more later. It's a professional association, which we're all supposed to join. We can route it as a professional association, gear it more that direction as well. We can make them aware of opportunities too. This summer I did the Gilman Lemur Scholarship, which I'd never heard of. I heard about it through a friend of a friend. I got to go to Stanford Law School for a week, learn from Larry Kramer, who's one of the top authors. He was the Stanford Law School law professor for years. He's argued for the Supreme Court like 50 times. Brilliant guy. It was totally free. I paid nothing. I think I paid $30 for a taxi from the airport. So that's something I never knew of. So we would have those kind of things come out to instructors. They would be on the social media. They would be on newsletters, etc. Um, Also with instructor members, we would look at getting resource sharing as far as just a simple thing online, a posting room. Hey, I'm teaching constitutional law with limited language learners. What suggestions do you have? It's just a real simple way people go on and help each other and those kinds of things. Now, what I could see in the future would be we could start doing awards, statewide teacher of the year, national teacher of the year kind of thing. That would garnish a lot of recognition for our teachers and bring a lot of recognition, and at the same time generate a lot of interest in our organization, get a lot of press for our organization, and get a lot of people to join. Our conferences, we can just make better boom for the buck as those go on. But I want to look at other things like virtual training and professional development. Imagine if Dina at FBI sat down and just did a 10-minute Skype call where everybody could tune in, and she just showed a simple forensic technique that I've never seen before. She shows me how to do it and how to teach it. 10 minutes of my time, and if I do it live, I can ask questions and give feedback. If I'm doing a pre-recorded, then she just then I just go watch the video. We also want to look at mentorship programs. Be aware of people around you, collaborate. There's a lot we can do in this direction. Now for the school, there would be an association for the schools to join. If a school joins, then obviously all the teachers and students totally free, which is what our goal is. Our goal is to get higher up than this, and you'll see in a minute. We could do a certification program. We're already talking about that with Joe Coffey. We could look at a ranking, do like a blue ribbon, yellow ribbon, or gold, silver, bronze. But for the school that exemplifies, the model standard, and really encourage the schools to grow and to get better. Give them the support that we have through the NTAT. We already have some curriculum out there. We already have the law enforcement course content, but with the membership would come, that again, let's say that the district, so let's say a school's $250, okay, for a school to join, but that includes all their members, access to all the materials, blah, blah, blah. The membership covers their unlimited students, instructors, and also, of course, would reduce rates on our services and products. But down the future, we could make it really valuable for schools to join this thing. Course content for multiple classes. We could look at expanding that over time. Again, if we've got this money that we're talking about possibly generating, we could afford to fund that, put grants out and get those done. We could provide standards. I don't mean curriculum standards. What I mean by standards is, are you regulating enrollment into your program? Do you have convicted felons in it? Do you have equipment for kids? And this would not be to hamper programs, but to encourage school systems to invest in their programs. Digital textbooks. I see a day that we have textbooks for all of our areas. Nothing out there in the textbook market matches what we teach. Precisely. We could create content aligned to the courses and provide those digitally. And if you're a non-member, they're $10 a year subscription per student. If you're a member, it could be $1 a year. Because again, this is just something we own. It's something that we sell. Our goal is to generate membership dollars, not necessarily subscriptions to textbooks. And the textbooks being digital can be updated relatively easy. We can provide all kinds of online resources that the teachers could use, download content. We could actually do standard, and in that area under the standard, all kinds of ideas of ways to implement that standard. We could start to create content specific specialized media. Crazy idea, but it's not that hard today to video something and edit it. To have something where we interview someone with the FBI. We do a career unit where we have 15, 20 careers that the kids can click on and get a 10-minute snippet on that career. What's it like to be a fire chief? What's it like to be MS? We could do things like that so easily. Virtual conferences where we don't necessarily have to move, but once a year to one location, but actually have virtual conferences where maybe we have an expert in the field that addresses a larger content area. Now the districts, look at the others. What's the other things we're looking at? The district. Let's look at fee structure really, really quick. If we have so let's say the schools are $250. Let's say that the district joins and their schools only cost them $175 per school. They're getting a better deal there. So we want more. We want to have more and more schools, more and more districts, more and more access directly to our instructors, and that's going to come through this. If a state joins, then the district gets a 10% discount. So the more that we can do to make it where the money's driving up the ladder, my district can afford for me to join. My school necessarily can't. But we could look at reduced rate for schools, fostering new programs and helping districts start, support through NTAC, curriculum development, professional development, providing that. When you look at the state level, pretty much the same thing. We had this controversy when we pulled back from being a member state automatically made you part of the board. I agree with that. I don't think you can do, 15 states, but what if we had a state advisory board that did give us that input, and it would actually be more useful because it'd be a smaller group specifically giving us an input on what they need. You got to look at technical community colleges. Why have we not tapped into these in the past? Is there a reason? There's nothing out there for them that I could find. It would expand our membership. We teach very similar to the technical colleges anyway. And then, like I said, there's not a lot out there unless you're at the university level. And then corporate, we have the corporations with interested in quality applicants, but then also looking to access our market and generation workforce. And so I just want us to look, this was my vision for the way membership should be kind of targeted. And so that was just kind of the idea that I didn't think I could email. Thanks.